What is up, everybody? What is up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me fine? Can you hear me well? Put in the comments if you have issues hearing me. Today is kind of crazy. I did not plan on doing any live streaming. I did not plan on doing anything like a live show. I was writing something else for a future project. And then, always just working on stuff while watching my little guy Sage here. And then right before Sage's nap time, some crazy news broke from WAFB. WAFB were the first ones to report this story. Kayshon Boutte, former LSU wide receiver Kayshon Boutte, someone who's he owns the all-time SEC single game receiving mark, still 308 yards, 2020 versus Ole Miss. You all remember it. 9 touchdowns through 6 games in 2021, right before his injury. And then 2022, you thought he's just going to hit that next level. There was a lot of media hype about his relationship alongside Jaden Daniels. And you saw from the get-go with the game against Florida State, dropping so many passes and then just the mistimed throws, everything between Kayshon and Jaden, they just didn't want any part of each other. And Jaden was trying. He was trying his ass off to get something going with Kayshon, but it was just not working. And we wondered, we heard that, rumors and some sourced evidence about some sexual stuff going on between Kayshon and his staffer for why he could not come back this last season. But, even more so than anything, this would have been the reason why Kayshon did not come back for this last season. Kayshon Boutte has been found, reported by WAFB. Kayshon Boutte was found to have illegally gambled before the age of 21, which is the legal gambling age, nearly 9,000 times just from April 2022 to May 2023. And 17 of those bets were on NCAA college football games, with 6 involving LSU football. 6 bets on LSU football. He bet on himself. He bet on himself against Florida State, as you already probably know at this point, to score a touchdown and to get 82.5 overall receiving yards. And then he's dropping a touchdown. He's dropping all these passes, and then you got Jaden Daniels mistiming a few throws with him. They're just on the same just not on the same page, not even in the same galaxy. He's pouting on the sideline. He's not listening to Jaden. He's not letting Jaden kind of talk to him and get something going. I'm just speechless. 9,000 bets by Kayshon Boutte. 9,000 bets. This is a player, and Jamer, loud and clear. What's up, Jamer? This is a player I was a big fan of, someone who I was tight with him and his dad, and I really believed in Kayshon at LSU. Really believed in Kayshon at LSU. Really thought he's already done so many good things through 2020 and 2021 while, barely getting any playing time in 2020, barely getting the ball until the last few games, and torching Alabama, Florida, and Ole Miss in those last 3 games. And you saw what he did in 2021 in a terrible offensive framework with a quarterback that just basically fed Kayshon the ball like ad nauseum, Max Johnson. Like, Kayshon somehow in that really stagnant, just poor offense in 2021 put up 9 touchdowns in 6 games. Like, he was a touchdown machine. And then he got hurt, had that surgery, and becomes a gambling addict during that time. Like, there's no other way to put it. Before I mean, the timeline makes that kind of points that out. FanDuel Sportsbook were the ones who reported this to the Louisiana Gaming Commission, I believe it was. Let's take a look at how this all. Yep, FanDuel Sportsbook believed it was an illegal. There's an illegal player in a college football program who's doing this. And so they went to the Gaming Commission, Louisiana State Police, literally arrested Boutte today on a felony count of computer fraud and a misdemeanor count of gaming prohibited by persons under 21. Court documents have shown April 5th, 2022. This is, spring practice. That I believe he was missing that entire spring, right? I was down there and I don't remember seeing him on the field. So I think it was him rehabbing from those injuries. So you didn't even have Kayshawn for spring. He's out. What is he doing while he's out? He's gambling. He's betting on stuff. And I'm not going to tell anyone how to live their life. I'm not going to tell anyone Kayshawn gambling is so wrong and he needs to really have the book thrown at him, blah, 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 blah. No, I think it's gambling. I get it. It's not really a big deal, but it is an addiction. And it's something that you see an addiction here with Kayshawn. It's a gambling addiction. You can't say it any other way than to gamble nearly 9,000 times in a year. And he made over $500,000 in winnings. Kayshawn actually won a lot of money gambling. You better if you're going to gamble 9,000 times in a year. But that money funneled right back into it. In the end, he made $50K. And here's the thing. This has been known by certain factors, people behind the scenes within the program, Boutte's family, for a few months here, obviously. I'm sure the Patriots have been made aware by Kayshawn. If not, bad move by him to not be upfront about what it was going to be coming. Kayshawn's charged with a felony here in Louisiana. Computer fraud. I'm just shocked. I'm sad. I'm just blown away by this news broken by WAFB because Kayshawn, you can say what you want about. He's got a son. He's got the talent. He's got most of the time the hardworking mentality to cash in on those talents. We just haven't seen that since his injuries. I don't know what's going on, what happened. But that's why you always have to consider, and that's why you always have to make room for the mental element when recovering from injuries. Because you've seen this so many times. Mason Smith as well, his hesitancy, his fear of getting hurt because he got hurt on such a random play. He's jumping up in the air, pumping his fist to celebrate a teammate making a tackle, and he tears his ACL landing. That's the mental side of these injuries. Kayshawn, I'm sure, had some mental, hesitancy, some mental fear after his injury recovery or during his injury recovery. Am I going to be the same? Am I going to have the same burst? Am I going to be the same receiver? And you've seen that affect his performances. Sorry, I'm laughing with my son. He was making some crazy noise. I am definitely not laughing about the situation because, I don't think Kayshawn's going to serve any jail time here. I think that would be absolutely ridiculous, beyond harsh, crazy. But what do you think about this whole thing? Because we have 6 bets by Kayshawn on LSU games that he was playing in. Okay, and not to mention maybe he bet on the New Mexico game that he didn't play on. play in, or the game he was suspended for. I'm trying to think of which game that was, but there was two I remember that he missed specifically in that last season. And I was glad I was able to see his last game as a Tiger in the SEC title game, where he went off against Georgia, had a great game against Georgia, his best game of the year, and showed kind of a couple flashes of what he could do still, and what he's always done. A burner at the receiver position. But we haven't seen it with New England. He's barely been given a shot with New England at the NFL level. Belichick was kind of trying to work his magic, which he had done on so many players before who had, troubled things that they were entangled with. And he would say, come to New England, and it always would seem to work out for these guys. They would go to New England, and things would kind of get figured out, and the ship would kind of get righted. I'm just I don't know. I'm sad for Kayshawn because it's another blow to a career where it was very promising. It was very promising for Kayshawn what he was going into. When you look at 9 touchdowns through 6 games in 2021, led the country in touchdowns, in single game touchdowns. Sorry, not single game touchdowns. Touchdowns in a season at that point. And that was a time when you had Jordan Addison basically up for the Blitnikoff, and it was basically going to be an Addison Boutte battle, and Boutte was just already beating Addison to the punch. 9 touchdowns for 6 games, but then he got hurt. And because he got hurt, you've got all this negative stuff that just seemed to follow. And this is another thing that comes out from his time at LSU, where you had the improper benefits, the signatures, the signing that he did with Mason Smith. You have that whole thing that cost him a game for LSU, got him suspended with the NCAA. You have this whole thing, this whole shenanigans now. It's been a lot of things. You've got the stuff with the staffer. It's hard for me to even wrap my head around how much just trouble that has followed or been created by Kayshawn in the last few years. Since the time of his injury until now, pretty much everything that you would not want or hope for Kayshawn has gone against him. And I feel bad for the turn of events, but also I feel bad for just the loss of time here, the loss of potential, the loss of what he really could have become at LSU. It's going to be always a what if Kayshawn had his shit together. Kayshawn hadn't been hurt, something that's out of his control. If Kayshawn hadn't been gambling like a crazy dude, gambling like he's Nicolas Cage or something, like on a bender with Vince Neil. Like it's crazy to read these allegations that he placed bets in LSU ops at times where only the players had access. So that's basically meaning while he's doing workouts, while they're in team meetings, he is placing bets at the time. That's according to the Advocate. some good reporting, but really this is just kind of shooting ducks in the barrel when you have access to court documents. So this is all from the court documents. You've got to keep that in mind. So this is pretty damn official where we're getting this information here, that all that's coming out. The fact that his username was Kayshawn Boutte 01. Kayshawn Boutte 01. I am not kidding you. In January, the account, which had the username Kayshawn Boutte 01, began to receive several deposits from that card, as well as hundreds of deposits from another credit card that listed Boutte as the payer, according to an affidavit. So he had one credit card that was in his mother's name, while using another person's name and birthday, like signing up for it like that. And then there's another card with Boutte as the one under it. Then he opened a new account in Massachusetts under his own name. The company then they traced that card, associated it to the first account, and then went, holy shit, Boutte just barely turned 21 on May 7th. So he literally, we know he's already made wagers before 21 that are illegal, and they just found thousands and thousands of them. It's something like 8,700 something. LSU released this statement, though. LSU releasing this statement, this press release said, in July 2023, LSU was made aware of allegations regarding a former student athlete's improper conduct related to sports gambling while enrolled at the university. Since then, we have fully cooperated with all relevant authorities involved in the investigation and will continue to do so. We have no evidence that any other student athletes participated in these prohibited activities, and we are grateful for measures that detect and discourage sports gambling-related misconduct. That is from their statement right there. Let's share that on the screen here. So, I just, let's check out some of your comments. Jamie Golan, what's up, Jamer? Can you hear Sage doing all those fart sounds in the background? I hope not. Al Diamond says, computer fraud. What's up, Al? This is like the first time I've seen you watching one of these, or at least commenting on it. This is awesome, man. Thank you so much for your support, Al. You're seriously a badass. Absolutely love seeing your comments. They're always full of like spice and zest and really kind of old school humor that I appreciate. Mr. Big Al, shine on you, crazy diamond Al. Mike Prima says, what the hell is up, people, from St. Landry, Louisiana? What's up, Mike? What's up, brother? How you doing, my man? Jamer says he literally used his real name. Shaking my head. I know. And it kind of fits with what we have seen from Kayshawn before, doesn't it? Where it's like, just some really just not the smartest decisions at all. Things that you'd think he was such a chill dude that's going to keep that low profile, He's going to keep that under wraps, He's going to keep it on the down low. But really, it's always out there for everyone to see, out there for everyone to hear. He has been the subject of so many different, scandals, so many different, like, deer in the headlights moments at LSU already in such a short time. I mean, and it was such a turnaround from being thought of as one of the, not only one of the best players on the team, likely the best offensive player on the team, and just an absolute athletic, thoroughbred, a bona fide top 10 pick. I mean, that was pretty much consensus, right? I'm not really kind of talking out of my ass saying that that was kind of consensus at the time. Kayshon Boutte, if he follows it in that trajectory, he's a first round pick. You know, it's kind of a dust situation. What happened was Kayshon just, I don't know. I think he lost a step speed wise. Couldn't regain that speed. Tried to do things on the field that usually his speed would mask for him. And since he didn't have that speed, it took off the mask on all those bad habits in his game. And I think it exposed every little tiny flaw possible in his game just because he didn't have that extra crazy track champion speed to like mask any deficiency, which, you know, usually that type of speed can. Now he couldn't, you know, mask any of these deficiencies. And he was dropping passes too. His concentration was shit. And, you know, you heard things from Kelly about him being a leader and all this stuff. And it just never sounded like, hey, you know, I'm one of Kayshon's biggest fans. And I know for damn sure that he's no fucking leader. He's no leader in that locker room. Like, let's be real here. There's some guys who wear the captain armband in soccer. And there's some guys, some of the greatest players in soccer, who don't, because they're just not a captain. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a mentality that, like, a captain, a leader, like, that's what you have to have. You might not even be the best player on the team or even close to the best. You're an omnipresent factor because of your leadership and because you're just good enough, you know. And maybe the rest of the team actually, like, cover up for some of your deficiencies, but you make up for a lot of their psychological lack of edge, you know. And I think with Kayshon, I think he was, you know, surrounded by a culture under Coach O that just had no discipline to it. There was no rhyme or reason to anything. He was basically allowed to do whatever. All the star players were by Coach O. I mean, that he had his favorites, and that was that. And you could basically get away with whatever. And he was going to try and clean up any mess for you academically, whatever, you know, whatever he had to do. That was Coach O's way. I love Coach O, but that's the truth here. Okay. Now, Brian Kelly comes in. And what is Brian Kelly? I mean, lay down the law immediately. Things are going to be way more buttoned down. Get to class. Graduate champions, you know, like a lot of stuff that Kayshon probably was rolling his eyes at. And you know, rightfully so. I mean, sure, he's a super talent. Just get me to the NFL already. Okay. Well, then opt out. You know what I'm saying? Like, opt out. If Kayshon had probably opted out from this last season, he probably would have done himself better service in the draft than playing through this season, because there was so much scandal. And even though he had some plays, even though he did a few things on the field and put up, you know, the bare minimum numbers, watching him play it exposed that he didn't have that burst of speed anymore. It exposed that there was a disconnect between Jaden and between Kayshon. And I feel like the local LSU Louisiana media are getting a little knives out with this situation, a little too excited about kind of like, he's gambling. Like, he committed like the worst crime ever. And then like someone, you know, actually is charged with like a serious crime. And they're like putting that under the rug or never going to even come close to reporting that because they don't want to look like they're anti-LSU. But here they are with the dude who's, you know, done some great things for LSU, played his ass off for LSU at times, and got injured for LSU. Lost his talent basically for LSU, and he gambled. I get it. He gambled. He bet on LSU and it was wrong. I get it. I just don't feel like this is that big of a transgression. I just feel like for Kayshawn, it's bigger, that it's just another thing that you have put in your own way. Like, it's just another distraction away from trying to be great. It's another distraction away from winning a championship. It's another distraction from taking your game to that next level. You know, he should be working his ass off, trying to get that speed back. He was born with that. God gave him that. He can get it back if he gets his body right. You know, Kobe Bryant would do special things to take care of that body. Tom Brady did special things to his body to make sure he could play until, you know, into his 40s. If Kayshawn would have maybe taken advantage of some of that type of connections from the Patriots to Brady, and maybe saying, hey, I need some help here. I know I have what it takes to be great, Tom. Help me physically, you know, with a trainer. Give me like one of your guys. Tom would have done that in a second for Kayshawn if he had come and asked for it. You just didn't see any want to be great. To me, it's way different when someone's like desperate to be great. They're desperate to like really cross that barrier, and people just keep cutting it off and never allowing that person to break out. You know, they just want to keep them down. It's way different from that to what Kayshawn has exhibited, where as much as I'm a fan of the dude, as much as I actually care about what happens to him and his success, just like any player at LSU, just like any young man really out there, I mean, just a fellow human being, it's just like, come on, man. You have done so much to hurt your own brand, to hurt your own career, to really change the trajectory of what was possible for you, not only at LSU, but the NFL. Not only the NFL, but beyond, you know, just as a person. And all of this stuff has really gotten in the way and just is going to further isolate him. Because I know how Kayshawn will respond to this. He's going to get quieter. He's going to get more withdrawn. He's literally gone to jail now. Luckily was bailed very quickly. Hopefully will stay on the Patriots roster and will be given a chance, because that is the lifeline, I'm telling you, for his NFL career. If the Patriots will keep him on roster. And, you know, Bob Kraft will probably do it. Bob Kraft will probably do it. He believes in giving people second chances and that type of stuff. I think he'll do it. It's just, if Kayshawn doesn't show that he gives a damn, that's where you'll see Bob Kraft either have investment or not. You know what I'm saying? It's Mr. Sage trying to climb up on me. Oh, God, buddy, watch out. I'm just, you know, this is a story I did not know about. You know, this is one that I will freely just be like, yeah, I had no clue. Like, this is one where it's like, I don't think anybody had any inkling that this was going on until the court documents came out and the arrest warrant was put out, and some people got a hold of some people probably in the media, and Jacques Doucet breaks it. Or I think it was, I'm not sure if it was Jacques Doucet, or it was WFB, or if it was Josh Otson or who, but I want to make sure I'm giving the credit right, because that's great reporting, but I think it is WAFB. Or sorry, I know it is WFB, but I think it is Jacques Doucet, but I just want to make sure of that. But I just, I'm stunned. Jamer says, Sagey, yes, he had his little cameo. He had his little cameo. Yes, he did. Look at this awesome hoodie that Chelsea got me for Christmas. I love it. I love it. There's a lot of we'll come back to the Boutte stuff, but there's a lot of LSU fans who have been really worried that Brian Kelly is going to head to Michigan. And I'm just like, just because we, like every other LSU media people out there, every college football media people out there, from T-Bob and Aaron Murray today on Snaps to Shea Dixon on 3 to Jordy Collada, he's done it on his own show, to the original, Boy Who Cried Wolf to start this whole thing, Matt Moscona on his show. Everyone's talked about the BK to Michigan rumors. So, of course, we were going to do that as well, not just follow everyone. We have, if you have followed our stuff for any length of time, that if we don't consider it a story worth our time as one person, not an entire writing staff, we won't cover it. If it's just like a bullshit, like clickbaity thing, it's like, nah. This, to me, you have to talk about it because there is at least a 2% chance that this could happen. I think it's just 2%. I think there is no way Kelly is leaving. And I explicitly said that on our show. But in today's college football atmosphere, today's college football world, to be so naive and blind that you would think that to be married to some head coach, like they're going to stay for 20, 30 years, it's just unthinkable. And I know Kelly said this, he wants LSU to be his last stop. And I take him at his word because he's said it multiple times. And I think we know what the alternative is, what happens, or what that would mean if that wasn't honored. It's kind of like why are you even going that far to say that? So I think there's no way Kelly's going anywhere. But I think the LSU fans freaking out at me for posting something, this is clickbait, this is clickbait. I'm sorry if it made you feel you wanted to click on it. I'm sorry if it made you feel like, is Brian Kelly going to Michigan? With the question marks are pretty big. Oh my God, Brian's holding a football. But the sad fact is 99% of the people who did not like it, what I had posted, maybe I'd actually say 100%, are the people who didn't even watch what I said. Because if they had, they would have seen that we were basically saying pretty much the same damn thing that I think an educated LSU fan or college football fan would think, which would be Kelly would be very stupid to leave LSU for Michigan right now, especially. I mean, just on the face of it, but the timing would be ridiculous. It'd be like, all right, Kelly, are you ready for another 2 to 3 year rebuild? In fact, it could be more with this NCAA investigation of cheating that is seriously has some true legs to it. Like, it would be a very ridiculous decision by Brian Kelly and very cutthroat. And it would cost a lot of money for Michigan. And I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. But I think LSU fans freaking out at us when everyone else is doing it, I think that's really some selective outrage. So, like, everyone else can talk about the most some difficult and kind of uneasy things, but we need to be like cheerleaders. Like, we can't report the news or report the rumors or discuss the possibilities as well. Like, what do you mean? Like, it was just kind of strange. People can have their opinions. I love I love when people give me shit. I love when people, keep me on my toes. I love when people will call me out on something and I'm, not thinking of something or not thinking something through, and they actually show me something and it teaches me. I'm learning from this process of being wrong, I am the only media person in LSU media who you will ever find who will ever tell you that he does not know something or he was wrong. You will not find anyone else who says, "Oh, I didn't know that," or "Yeah, I was wrong." You will not find that. You will not. And we have done that many times on our stuff where we've said, "Oh, hey, this just happened. Add this to what we just posted, this update. This just backed up what we were writing about, or yeah, this actually furthered it in this direction." It's not, we've only been wrong, I think, on like one or two high profile stories, but we've just not really been getting the credit for years until the last little bit here. But we have made our mistakes. But what you do when you do it is you say, "Okay, I was wrong, and this is how, I made a mistake." You will not find that from very many people within LSU media. It's always this very strange, "Yeah, I was told 24 hours before by blah, blah, blah." Or like, "Yeah, I found out, but I couldn't say anything." Or, or immediately copying and pasting someone's story and posting it as your own the second, like, you've got them on notifications and it's okay, they wrote this story. Like, it's such shit. And it's so obvious to me. And so it just seems like, just seems a little strange to me that some people can talk about the difficult things and others can't. But one thing that drives me nuts: are you guys BKU now, or we LSU? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's LSU over any coach. It's LSU over any player. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say Brian Kelly, who cares? See ya. I want Brian Kelly to stay as the head coach. I think Brian Kelly's going to stay. I think these rumors are ridiculous. I think this whole thing is actually a sham, probably created by someone's agent. But here we are talking about it, and you've seen probably 4 or 5 other people talking about it. You've read about it. It's something that we felt had to be discussed, whether there were legs to it or not. And so I think we've earned that right. But we'll check out some of these comments here. RY says, "My guy." Who's RY? I'm thinking of a few people here, but I want to know who this is. RY, my guy. That's awesome. Well, thank you for saying I'm your guy. That's badass. Thank you for watching. I'm not sure if it's Rye or RY or what that stands for, but thank you. James says, "We all saw what happened with Saban way back. I never say never." Oh, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is these head coaches do things that are way worse than any, like, just, "Oh, we transferred from our school, out goody." Like, that's one player. A head coach just pulling up the rug out of nowhere, right when he's recruiting all these kids to go to this school and they just barely committed, and now you're going to this. Like, it's just insane. It's ridiculous. And you're going to see some restrictions put on the transfer portal. They're going to make you think, like, put some restrictions on the head coaches, like head coach movement. This is some BS. And so I think, Kelly could do it, but I don't think he would be smart to do it. And I don't think Kelly would. I think Kelly would probably consider it. I think Kelly would discuss it with his family. And I think Michigan might be dumb enough to send an overture his way. But as I've said so many times, this is Sherrone Moore's job. And maybe I need to be more vocal with our opinions, because we put that whole thing out way before this has become a narrative where everyone's saying there's no way Sherrone Moore's got that job. They'll lose half their roster if they give it to BK or an outside hire. You know this. Everyone knows this. Like, we need to be more vocal about that stuff. RY says, if they need breaking news, they need to tune in to you, bro. Well, I mean, we don't have everything. We're not able to break everything, but I think considering where we are on the map, considering how, our lack of resources as far as traveling, things like that, the fact that we're even anywhere close to doing what we have done over the last 5 years is something I'm very proud of. But we're not even anywhere near the goals. We have higher goals in mind than just putting, oh, look, we got a breaking news credit from On3 or from Sports Illustrated or 247 or ESPN or The Advocate. Like, that's great, but we've done that so many times, and we've been breaking news for so long that we should have gotten this type of credit all along. So, I mean, it's whatever. We're just going to do what we're going to do and let the chips fall where they may. We're not going to really care what happens as far as that type of stuff or the politics of all of that. We just love what we do. We love covering LSU, and we want to be a positive source of info and news, but also just exclusive interviews, player profiles, stuff like that. And I feel like we have. I feel like the people who haven't actually read or watched our stuff are the people who are, he's a negative. Like some dude called me a negative recruiter for LSU today. It was like, what in the hell are you talking about? This is a dude who's never even spoken to a recruit, let alone convinced a few kids to literally come to LSU. So, there's a lot of things I could brag about, a lot of things I could say that I could prove with screenshots or, make a few calls and get the people on here myself. But, we'll be interviewing some of those people at some point and have already, and we can just ask those type of questions and shine that type of light during the show if we have to. But I don't think that's really necessary at this point. If you just go to our site and go to the exclusive interviews bar, you'll see that we actually talk to the players. There's a lot of these people in the media who don't even have a relationship with these players or their family members. It's just a collection of phone numbers just so that when something's going on, then they'll go vulture back and call them and freak them out and get some type of info off of them. But actually establishing relationships with these people, the people who win or lose championships for LSU, those people, we have done our share of getting to know a lot of these people, a lot of these Tigers. And I'm excited for what's around the bend. I'm excited for what's around the bend because when you put a lot of work into something and kind of feel like, okay, we're getting closer, it feels good. And I feel like we're getting closer. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is. It's a process. It's a journey. And I don't really care too much about arriving at the destination because that'll be very close to death for me. So I don't really want to arrive at that destination, just yet. I kind of like this journey of discovery so far. It's been very fun. I cannot wait to get back to Louisiana, though. But first, before we go back to Louisiana for spring training and then fall practice, we're going to be going on a cruise this next month to Cabo. That's going to be crazy. That's something we've been looking forward to for some time now. Have saved up for that for some time now. And very excited for that. Going with Sage. Once again, of course, the little guy coming with us. What? What? You're freaking out because I said your name? Why are you freaking out because I said your name? I don't know what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get up here or are you trying to go down? You got a little bit of yogurt on you. You know, I think this news with Kayshawn is really unfortunate, really sad. I think every LSU fan as well, don't you dare believe the Brian Kelly to Michigan thing. It's utterly ridiculous. And here's the thing. Say it happens. Say it happens. Okay? Well, thank God that LSU just dodged a bullet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just figured out that the guy that we thought was going to lead us to the next championship was never going to be ready or possible to lead for this gig. This gig was never going to be right for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, we found that out in 2 quick years. Like, he left LSU in a good place, and now he's moved on because he doesn't want that SEC smoke. He wants to go back to the Midwest. I don't think you're going to see that from Brian Kelly, a guy who just hired Bo freaking Davis as his defensive line coach, has Brad freaking Davis as his own line coach, has Joe Sloan, Cortez Hankton as his offensive coordinators, who just had their quarterback for next year put up almost 400 passing yards this last game, 35 in a crazy comeback with one of the worst defensive units LSU's ever had. And you've completely retooled your defensive coaching staff. Blake Baker comes in at DC. You've got 2 of the top defensive line coaches in the country on the same staff. You have Tulane's offensive coordinator, Slade Nagel, as your tight ends coach. You know, like you have a Broyles Award finalist, Broyles Award nominee, Kevin Peoples, coaching your edge rushers. He's not a defensive line coach even. He's just DC's coaching your edge rushers. Like, this staff is absolutely littered with some of the best. Bo Davis, Saban's first hire at Miami Dolphins. Bo Davis helped Saban win his first national championship at LSU and then helped him regain it all in 2015 as well. Won 2 with Saban, a third on part of LSU's staff under Tommy Moffitt as an assistant strength and conditioning coach, much like the cornerbacks coach we just hired as well, Corey Raymond, who won the 2007 national championship as an assistant under Tommy Moffitt, assistant strength and conditioning coach. Both were huge parts of those teams. Because I've asked members of those teams, 2003 teams, 2007 teams, hey, Bo Davis, assistant strength and conditioning coach on 2003 team, remember him? Hey, wow, Corey Raymond, 2007. People from those teams have told me, dude, Tommy Moffitt would just kind of relax because he hadn't been able to relax in years, and now he had these guys who were absolute top dogs. You know, Bo Davis and then Corey Raymond in 03, 07, guys who actually could lead the room. Kind of a Jake Flint kind of vibe there. See, that's the thing is I'm kind of relieved that this silly season of madness is over. It all began with the news of Matt House being fired and the defensive staff being ousted. and then has gone through clear to here, where Joe Sloan, Cortez Hankton, and now you've got word of Austin Thomas joining the staff. Former LSU GM, a man who has been credited with helping to build the 2019 team, a man who's been credited with, helping to build some of what was going on in 2021, some of the good parts, good aspects, that he was basically the one keeping the train kind of somewhat on the tracks that season. But Austin Thomas has been an Ole Miss the last few years. He also defected to A&M during one of his other stints away from LSU. This would be his third stint back at LSU, and I am being told that there is advanced talks that are nearly finished there to bring him back to the Tigers because Will Redmond, Director of Player Personnel, an award-winning Director of Player Personnel for LSU, led us to back-to-back top 10 classes. He is gone to Auburn and taking with him a few of his highly prized assistants. And you kind of had a vibe there was going to be a change there, Director of Player Personnel. I figured it could be from within, a promotion. But I think what immediately stung to my name was like I heard rumors of this Austin Thomas reunion tour thing, like even like before the bowl game. I didn't really think much of it. It was like, okay, everyone's kind of on this vibe of LSU are going to hire all these former people, get the crew back. And it was just getting really kind of nostalgic and crazy, and all these former LSU guy names, all these former Tigers. Any former Tiger who could coach is basically being thrown around by people on these message boards or on the comment sections, and it's just our fan base got a little crazy with some of the candidates. I mean, some of the names that I hear from our fans who would send me messages would be like, guys, come on. It seems like I feel like the LSU fan base is like some of the fan base is mad at me right now or something because I dared to talk about the Brian Kelly to Michigan rumor. Like, I didn't start this. I didn't start this fire. And if you actually watch what we did, I didn't think it was. I thought it was actually a good show. I thought for once I wasn't rambling or saying stupid shit. I thought it was a good show. So, I can't really figure that one out. Can't really figure out why I tend to incur the wrath of LSU fans at times. Like, it's so funny. People who are following this account, people who are following this show, people who are literally subscribed to this site will be like, you report something that they just don't want to hear, and they're like, fuck you, I'm going to kill you. They'll say the most insane stuff. But then they'll re-up and for the next month, and then they'll say when you break some news that they like, oh, hell yeah, man, you're the best, man, yeah. Like, I can't tell you how many people who have actively hated me for the last 4 years basically sent me almost like Tinder hookups on the day we broke the Matt House story. That was how much the LSU fan base loved the Matt House news. But if you break something or tell people something, tell LSU fans something that they just don't want to hear, some of the LSU fans just go absolutely berserk because they just can't handle it. There's like a sky is falling kind of weakness, a fear that has been embedded in some of these fans that I'm like, let's get rid of that. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's like you guys are always afraid of Alabama. You guys always act like Alabama are God. At the same time, you guys always like hated Nick Saban. Wouldn't ever give him credit for building what LSU became really as a program. So it was kind of a strange catch-22. And some of those fans really continually say the strangest stuff when it comes to Brian Kelly. They always think Brian Kelly's going to leave, no matter what. They always think this player is going to transfer. They're always going to think this, and it's like, stop focusing on the players that maybe LSU missed on the recruiting trail or missed in the portal or the guy that just barely left, and look at who we've got. I feel like that always gets lost on our fan base until the season happens. And I know you didn't see that much the last two seasons because Matt House didn't really use the personnel as he should. And then Mike Denbrock pretty much had his solid favorites who would actually deliver on offense. So you haven't seen much of a rotation of personnel. This year, you're going to see a lot more of that because LSU are going to simply need to do that to get through games. And to figure out who are the best players. And that's how great defensive line play is done. You rotate. Bo Davis is going to do that. Kevin Peoples is going to do that. You've got to keep bodies fresh. Fresh. God, that was stupid. Why did I do that for a second time? No wonder the people on On3 think I'm freaking autistic. Seriously, like, no wonder. I'm a weird dude. I get it. And that's the thing, is we're weird because we're just kind of like, we come from a rock and roll world, but at the same time, we played sports all throughout our life, all throughout our very young youth, all throughout all of our youth, playing multiple sports, including football, specifically football. Well, soccer as well. And soccer is not as wussy as you'd think. There's a lot of slide tackling and insanity that is quite painful. And I've got the sores and surgeries on my body to prove that when you're playing at the higher levels of competition and actually slide tackling and actual like intensity. Like soccer can be very fun and very painful because there's no pads, there's no helmets. But we kind of come from it from a weird artistic angle, our sports coverage. We do. And we try and keep it as straight-laced as we can when it needs to be. I like to think I have a good discretion for each story. Like, okay, this story needs this tone, this story. But sometimes I just go with the gut, And it just kind of is an automatic thing at this point. So it even feels weird to talk to you about it, but I'm kind of like, let's let them peek behind the door here for the process a little bit, if that would be interesting to them. Probably isn't. Let's see if there's anything on this Keyshawn thing, and then we'll shut this down because I don't think people are enjoying all my madness right now. Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of people who were upset by the post yesterday, like it was a betrayal or something. It's very strange. I was kind of stunned by some of the people's response to this tweet right here. This tweet right here is what started some furor. And see, like this, it's basically asking you guys, could this happen as well? Like it's a question to you as much as it's, click on me and watch me because I feel like that was a good show. Click on me and watch me. Yeah, I want you to watch my stuff. Hell yeah, I want you to click on it. You think I'm an idiot? Like, you think I'm just creating this for myself to rant at a mirror? No. I want as many people to watch my stuff. Of course I do. It's ridiculous. And then Tristan, good dude. But he says, Lon, chill out, my guy. You know you're going to catch some heat for this one. It's like, why am I going to catch heat for this? Like, chill out. What am I doing? What did I say that was unchill? You know, it's a photo with Kelly holding a football with a Michigan sign, and it's just like what everyone else is asking. Is this possible? And we're not doing this because everyone else is doing it. We did this because we wanted to do it. We felt like it was relevant. And it won't be relevant in probably a week from now, which is exactly what happens with most of the stuff that we generate, because it's sports news and it's on to the next, it's on to the next, it's on to the next. It's crazy. Delete this. Why is everyone losing it? Lon Phillips said, why it'd be dumb for BK to go there in it. Great thoughts, like your whole face-to-face and then in the dark shows too. Unorthodox and cool. Thank you, Joran. I'm sure Joran is watching this. That's a very cool comment. Yeah, we do these shows sometimes where we're on the run or at work or something, and we just kind of we put it against our leg and we just kind of film and we just kind of talk, and like it's like a radio thing. I like that. But it seems to piss people off as well in this era where everyone is super offended and super uptight and give me the damn info. This is Grumps guy saying lawn hunting clicks, but it's like, you also follow me though, and you also gave me clicks. And what's ridiculous is our site just had our best year, our best month ever, and best year as well, but best month this last month. I don't care about clicks. I'm literally just posting something that I felt like was an interesting topic, because it's, our head coach potentially leaving, which is really not a small deal whatsoever. That seems to be kind of a big deal. Jamie Thornhill, absolutely not. Glenn Gilbo, not you too. Some Gen Gilblow, there we go. Really, dude? BC. No way, Jerry Kleinpeter. Alex Bidman, I can't watch it. Yes, it was only for subscribers for the first day, but we have changed that as of like 15 hours ago. Or even more. Bill, can't believe you went there. Sad. I'm sorry to betray your trust. I don't know why this is such a huge deal. Y'all pipe it down. He just asked a yes or no question. Sheesh. Exactly. Oh my God. Oh my God. RCLA. Exactly. Adam. Lame. No. Oklahoma Etufe. No. Stop making content clickbait. Danny Etling. What the heck? I'm actually former LSU quarterback legend Danny Etling, I swear. People like you, man. Don't do this to yourself. This is a Matt Moscana move. RL Land, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? No one likes me. What are you talking about? This is funny. I really don't read comments this much. This is very entertaining. I did put stop being soft. Someone said, stop the BS. Cajun Sports says, stop speaking the what it's into existence. I don't know what you mean by that, but I know there's a word missing there. So I don't know what you totally mean there. But he says, stay on the positive goodness route. I get that. Like, I all want to be positive, and I understand that. If you actually read our stuff, watch our stuff, 99.9% of it is. But there are realities to be spoken about. And sometimes it's not very savory. Sometimes it's bad stuff that's happened. Sometimes it's disgraceful stuff that's happened. I don't know why that would be a reflection on me reporting or covering something that someone else did. It doesn't really make sense. Johnny Dark, could you actually stop posting bullshit? Nope, about the same chance as BK to UM. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like, good lord. LSU fans, which I am one, stop being so fucking soft. Seriously. Stop being so chicken little about things. Stop thinking the world is, eating your program at all. It's just sometimes the things that I see drive our fan base crazy and get our fan base going are stuff that I can see used against us in recruiting. You guys think that I'm a negative recruiter? Well, one person actually said that. I shouldn't say you guys, but one person said I was a negative recruiter. I don't know why, but they said that, and I'm thinking, actually, you're freaking out at kids for transferring. You're freaking out at kids for not committing to LSU. There's stuff that you guys post, the everyday fan posts at these players. That's the negative recruiting. Like, it's kind of insulting to be told that type of stuff. Jamie says, now show Shay Dixon's tweet from this morning and see the comments. Great point, Jamer. Great point. Let's do that. Because you just saw a dissertation by us, basically, of all the people going at us here for basically doing very little other than look at this. Shay Dixon, Jim Harbaugh is headed to the NFL, and some are tossing Brian Kelly's name out as a candidate. What's the reality of the search? I sifted through the rumor mill with my thoughts, insight from Ann Arbor, and Kelly's take. I'm not going anywhere. We said that too, that Kelly said he's not going anywhere. But I guess because Shay posted I'm not going anywhere with a picture of Kelly, like, I guess LSU fans thought it was appropriate. Like, it's just kind of strange. It's almost like it shows to me what we're paying attention to. You guys just pay attention to that headline and that photo. And if that photo and that headline pass the smell test for you, it's click, love, retweet, boom, love it. Yep, we're good. But if you just see something you don't like, it's, no, block you, get out of it. Like, you're not even clicking on what it is, actually reading it. But then you call it clickbait. I'm sorry, are we that lazy that you can't even click something and read something for 20, 30 seconds? And that's an insult to you that someone would ask for you to actually put some time into something that's nuanced and actually has some depth and some some layers to it. You have to actually learn and research. Like, don't ever talk to people like me about how to do this job when there's no way you'd be able to do the research. There's no way you'd be able to look into the type of things that we do. There's no way you'd be able to even organize that type of information or those type of sources or all the stuff you're getting back from people. There's no way. If you can't even click on something without it's an absolute clickbait, blah blah blah. These people never know what the hell they're talking about because of this reason. They can't even see. Like, it'll be footage of the actual event. Like, say the story is Jim Harbaugh punches man in the face, and it shows Jim Harbaugh like in a screenshot going like, but you don't see him punching anyone in the face, and it shows an old man who's kind of like bracing. But it shows a younger man next to him. So everyone goes, Jim Harbaugh just punched an old man in the face. Oh my God, because of that screenshot. Jim Harbaugh just punched a man in the face. Holy crap, And instead, the footage, if you actually watch it, is Jim Harbaugh punching the young guy in the face who's about to attack the old man. And the old man is just simply bracing, goes, oh my God, I'm about to get in some fight here with Jim freaking Harbaugh from Michigan. What is going on here? And no one's clicked on it. Everyone's just taken, oh my God, Harbaugh in this photo. And it's that's just a dumb example, but it's quite obvious what I'm trying to say here. No one cares to actually research or look into what the hell they're ranting about online. They're ranting and raving about all this stuff that they're not even they don't even go and look at what the person involved specifically had to say. They just see what some other like news source said. What we try and do with every story we break is get the actual person involved, the actual subject of the story, of the breaking news story, and get their side. So that the second I'm breaking that story, I have their side on it as well. That is a duty. That is literally like your job, in my opinion. And why wouldn't you? I want the truth. I want as many sources as possible. I want to crack that nut. I don't want just to be some click machine. And that's why you haven't seen us jump on so many stupid, bogus stories over the years and so many stupid trends. And that's why we remain a unique enterprise in college football media, is because we do not do that. And so don't you even dare for 1 second accuse us of doing that, because we post a photo of Brian Kelly holding a football, a Michigan logo, and some question marks. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And see, look at this. Oh, sorry, Sage. Us LSU fans been trying to say he ain't going nowhere. Sage, here's your cup. It says agenda pusher. Us LSU fans been trying to say he ain't going nowhere. Won't happen. He has the best staff in the country now. He was never considered anyways. Why is this news? By, kind of typical answers. Stuff I expected to get. People actually answering the question, giving their own take. Instead, it was just a bunch of bullshit attacks where it showed a lot of weakness from the fan base, which actually looks bad for recruiting, really. So, in effect, these type of people, including a guy whose name is literally Saban Cream Pie. I can't even make this up. This guy's name, he has 35 followers. This dude's name, handle, whatever, is Saban Cream Pie. Let me get to it. Where is it? This is the guy who basically attacked me in the way that I found kind of insulting. The other people, I don't really care. Like, they can say whatever they want. It hasn't really crossed that line. This dude was like, bro, like, say that to my face. Like, let's go here. Like, you basically just called me a liar for like, come on. Like, let's go now. Like, let's do this. I'm done. I can't. The dude's name is like Saban Cream Pie. It's crazy. He's following me as well. So it's strange why he is following me. And then freaking out and saying, yeah, Nick's illegitimate cream pie. Look at this. Big Nick's oatmeal cream pie. What in the hell? Spreading the joy of my scrumptious cream pies. One bite and you'll be hooked. Hot takes and hot bakes delivered to your back door. Like, that could be funny in some other way, written in some other way, but the way it's written, it's obvious that dude is like a sexual deviant and has some type of really creepy things. It's really interesting. And look at that. 35 followers. And who knows, maybe because we put him on this, he'll get more. Maybe he'll get that love he's always deserved. Look at that. He's following me. This dude who literally, said all this shit, called me a liar, called me all this stuff, into clickbait, all this whatever. He's actually following me. So, that's kind of strange. And I'm honored to be followed by him. And you know what? We're going to follow you back, buddy. We're going to follow you back. You see that? We just followed you. I hope you enjoy that. This guy's acting like he's some type of a big shot. This Nick's illegitimate cream pie guy. He thinks he's this big timer. Like, and you know what? He is. 35 followers. My God, like, I have like none. Like, I have like zero, and I get it. Like, I should have more. I've been doing this for way too long. I should have way more followers than just like a couple thousand or whatever I've got. And this guy's basically outpacing me. If he keeps at it at this pace, I mean, he'll basically retire my ass, Nick's cream pie. I mean, and who knows? Maybe before he retires, he can give Saban a cream pie in person. What are we even discussing here? What are we even going into here? This is bizarre. Nick's illegitimate cream pie. Like, what in the God's name is going on here? Crazy, crazy stuff. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy, sick world. Crazy, sick world, But I will not tolerate being called a poster of clickbait when, I mean, the people who actually read our stuff, people who actually check our stuff out, they know what we're about, what we represent, what we do. They get it. And some are not going to get it. Some people are never going to get it. And that's fine. You don't have to like what we do. That doesn't mean we're going to stop doing it. That doesn't mean we're going to conform to the way you want us to do things. It doesn't mean that we're going to, we got to get more straight-laced here and just write things like a robot and make sure we put on the AI and the Grammarly. We're not going to do that. If there's a spelling error, okay, at least a human wrote it. If, there's a typo, all right, at least a human wrote it. You can rest assured. I know, I wish Mama was here too. Or maybe he's calling me Mom. Oh my God. Oh my God, it could be. He's hungry, I can tell. We're going to feed our child, and we're going to be talking to you later, though. Take it easy, everybody, and go Tigers, baby. Say bye, Sage. Wave bye. Wave bye-bye. Show them bye-bye. You can do it now. Do it. Do the bye-bye. He has no concept of what's going on. All right, everybody. I need to feed him, so thanks for watching. It's been way cool. Sorry for the ranting and raving. I just felt like I know it's rare for me. I don't usually go on about what we do here. We're always talking about LSU. I just felt like we had to talk about it. We had to discuss it. We had to really say, hey, this is some bullshit, and we're not going to take it anymore. Because we're not. And we're not going to conform to some bullshit where we have to bend over and make sure that people like us. We're not going to. We're going to really report the best LSU news and info that we can possible. And if you like us, great. If you don't, okay. If we're not for you, that's fine. If you don't get it, if we're too weird, that's fine. But we're going to do what we do. And we're going to do it the best we can. And we're going to try and get better every freaking day. Everybody, take it easy. We'll probably be doing a show tomorrow because I know some type of crazy news is coming out tomorrow. I've been kind of tipped off about a few things. Some fans got butthurt and annoyed with me the other day because I said some bad stuff was happening and they thought I was talking about Kelly. I was actually telling them to brace for the Will Redmond news, that we're going to lose Will Redmond to Auburn. I just didn't know it was going to be hopefully for Austin Thomas. We'd heard those rumors, but you never think you're going to just lose all these guys to have to get people. You just think you're going to be adding guys. So, everybody, take it easy. Sorry, buddy.